PJ, agree? How we doing, man?
I definitely agree with that. I'm doing good. I'm doing good. It's been crazy morning. But how about you guys?
Yeah, man, we're doing well. It was awesome to see the attention you got for the game you're releasing yesterday. So excited to dig into that. So you're the founder and CEO of PlayMini, which is a game studio building tokenized social games. And yesterday you announced your not your first game, but maybe your kind of next big release of founder mode. So yeah, maybe let's just jump right into it. And can you tell us about, I guess, maybe a little bit about PlayMini and what founder mode is?
Yeah, and then technical not our first game, but our first,
Yeah.
I think, major release game. I think we wanted to spend a lot of time just exploring what exactly we want to build. And I think recently, we spent last few months thinking about this really cool idea that um, like we want to build tokenized social games. And what I mean by that is I think in my past, I was working a lot of different live shows actually with a bunch of YouTubers and Twitch live streamers. And I realized that people love social games with prize pools because they can win money and you can sell that idea to anyone, both in crypto and outside of crypto. So vision behind PlayMini is to build social games with prize pools. And so the question is, how can we create an exciting prize pool, right? Because if the prize pool is nothing, it's not that exciting. And then if it is exciting, it attracts a lot of attention. So the answer to me was to find a unique way to use crypto for that. And I think to me, there are two unique parts about crypto. One, you can do buy-ins internationally, right? Like now we're talking about someone in Japan can join the same game as someone in the US. It's already exciting. It's already really unique. If you use stable coins, it's also the currency that everyone can understand and easily get. It's non-volatile. But then, it's still only part of that. The question was, how can we even make it even bigger? And I think, to me, one of the main thing about crypto was always that coins and coin design and everything tokenizing was always interesting topic. I think a lot of companies and people been doing a lot of experiments that not all of them were successful, but one that I think I never seen before is to use specifically something I would refer to as a game coin to use it to fuel the price pool. Because then we can have same amount of players with the buy-ins, but then now we can add some amount of money on top of that, and the price pool becomes much bigger. For example, with founder mode, we already added $9,000 just this morning into the prize pool, and the game only starts tomorrow. So I definitely think the prize pool is going to be, go up to some even bigger number, right? And so this is exciting. Now, if someone joins the game for $50, they can win almost 50x of that,
Right.
right? And so now it creates this really interesting narrative that, oh, I can play the game that is social, that is really easy to play in terms of the gameplay, and I can win money. This idea of like selling the dream. Oh, I can win a lot of money if I'm going to be doing a good job, right? So that's basically the vision behind PlayMini right now. And Founder Mode is our first game that actually kind of goes under this thesis. And the Founder Mode, the easiest way to explain it is basically a social prediction game. I think when it comes to social games, they have to be insanely simple, insanely easy, and we're still revealing a little bit more of a gameplay over the next 24 hours. So not everything is revealed yet, but it's a really simple game. I think people will only have to spend 3 minutes per every 24 hours for 5 days to basically participate in that. And the core gameplay is as simple as you basically have to launch startups on a daily basis. It's called Founder Mode. It's a love letter to what I love. I've been building startups for years now, and I always thought that one of the best way to introduce what I have in my head is to give it to the audience that I understand the most, which is founder startup people. And in a game, you launch startups on a daily basis. It really consists of three simple steps. Step number one, you have to predict trending categories. So you basically use AI mindshare analysis to see which category is trending on social. So it could be DeFi, L2s, NFTs recently been trending, which is great because that's where I'm coming from, and it's been great to see that. Step number two, you have to raise money for your startup. Basically, people can raise from Seed Club, which is exciting, and I looking forward to seeing people doing that. And then three, you have to hire a founder for your startup. We have a list of top founders and operators in the industry you can choose from. Then you do three things: you launch the startup, you wait 24 hours, and you earn points. Then you do that for 5 days, and at the end of the week, top 5% share the USDC pod. So that's basically it. And still not launched. We're launching tomorrow, but we launched our founder game coin yesterday. It's been pretty successful. I think we got a lot of attention on Twitter, and again, the price pool went up by $9,000 already, and I'm definitely thinking that it's going to go higher because of that. And so far the experiment been going well. We'll see what's going to happen next. But yeah, that's ultimately what the vision is, and what PlayMini is and Founder Mode is.
I'm super curious, how deep does the sim go? Like, do do investors in the game who win accrue history?
So the short answer is that right now it's going to be insanely simple. I don't think there's much complexity added to the gameplay. Again, we're going to be revealing more. The idea behind the game tone, like the reason to use the game coin, is that I think that each game that we ever going to release, including Founder Mode, it could become its own ecosystem. What it means is that we can do chapters, and in the future, we can introduce chapters with new features, with new ways to utilize different things in the game. So what people are going to do in chapter 1, which is going to be insanely simple, going to transition into chapter 2 with, let's say, much more like complex VC system or something. So right now it's relatively simple, but I definitely think we're going to learn what people do now, adapt it, and then release new features that are going to be built on top of that.
Wonderful.
It was really interesting watching the token launch yesterday, and I guess how much more money went into the token than has gone into the game so far. Like I think the token maybe ran to like a $4 million market cap, and I think maybe like $2,000, $3,000 have actually been used to enter the game. Like how do you think about that like dichotomy? Is that something is that like a gap you think you need to fix, or is that just how these things are going to go?
Yeah, I think so far. So the market cap went up to like 4.1, I think, at the highest peak, and it's still trending at a pretty decent level. I think before we launched the coin, we had 3.5K in terms of buy-ins, and it was still a really decent amount of people and decent payout. I think what we've seen right now is that amount of players we have, even if that number is just going to stay the same right now, they just gonna all these people just gonna win so much money because of what we're adding from the trading fees. So to me, it's almost like coin and the game exist in two different worlds where they both support each other, right? The game release help us to release the coin and get attention there, but now we're using the trading fees we make from that coin to go back and give it back to our like active players, which I expect to increase because of how much money already been added back into prize pool today in the morning. But also, we have some of the coin reserve again for rewards for people who are going to play the game and community members. So I think the flywheel we're already seeing is what we actually wanted to test, whether separation going to help to like separate audiences, and I think it works because now degens, if you want to call them like that, they have something to speculate on, but then players now have almost 14K in terms of prize pool for week 1. And they're just going to play the game because they're excited about it. They're really excited to build startups.
Totally. Yeah, I think that's actually one of the more kind of fascinating kind of like mechanic white spaces right now that exist in crypto, where like, I think ultimately if a product goes mainstream, maybe like conservatively or maybe even aggressively, like 1% of your user base or audience is probably going to be degenerate enough to want to just go speculate on the coin. But figuring out how to kind of capture that speculative energy and value from it and actually redirect that into people who love the game and want to play the game or love the social product and want to just use the social product, I think is fascinating. So it's a cool way to do that.
Exactly. And that to me is basically the experiment we're trying to run. And we already have like a few interesting numbers. Like I have a bunch of people not in crypto world sign up for the game just because of the prize pool. And seeing the how game easy to play. But then like you're saying, like I think right now we still have decent amount of degens and crypto people involved into that just because of the fandom we going after. Mm-hmm. But the vision for PlayMini is to basically build game for every fandom in the world. It could be sports, entertainment, gaming, still tech, Twitter, and then because we do still serve both audiences, we can find interesting like creative ways to utilize token design and everyone who wants to speculate to use that and then give it back to people who care about playing, right? And that's how we get people into crypto. It's much easier to sell idea, you just have to play the game, you don't have to worry about economics. I was studying like game economics and I know how hard it is to balance it. So like this separation is basically what makes it really easy to control the dynamic of prices and everything. It's super easy, $50 to join the game. The prize pool, 14K, you can calculate how much money you're going to win, and that's it, right? You don't have to worry about the coin. But then if you do want to worry about the coin, if you want to trade on that, you can do that.
Yeah, I think people in crypto too are also kind of sleeping on how big the skill-based gaming market is and how quickly it's growing. Like if you look at, the top 10 grossing apps on the App Store, I think like 8 of them are these skill-based gaming products like Triumph, et cetera, et cetera. And I think it's, crypto, obviously we love playing the meme coin stuff, the things that can get us 1,000x opportunities. But I think there's a huge opportunity to build more kind of skill-based games like you are.
Yeah, it is for sure. And also, I actually played most of those games in App Store that you mentioned, and I think that's also where crypto comes through, because I think a lot of those games are really limited to regions, right? With crypto now, with stable coins, we're already seeing people from all over the world joining the game, and I think ultimately, if you're thinking about the percentage we can capture in terms of the audience, now we're talking about millions of people everywhere in the world, right? And because people have to pay to join, maybe in the future it's not going to be $50, maybe it's going to be $1, but they still have to pay. We collect those fees too, which then we can also reuse to buy back the coin, do more community rewards, just put it back in the treasury, right? So to me, like that's really unique opportunity to make it global, because what we see in App Store is so limited, and we already have much more bigger reach potential in those apps, which is what excites me, and cannot be more excited to continue building and just seeing what people think about founder mode first, but then so many projects already in pipeline, and cannot be more excited about them.
Nice, awesome. Well, give us the kind of simple 30-second pitch for anyone listening on why they should go buy a ticket and join this game.
Super simple. If you ever felt like you wanted to be a founder, or if you are a founder, that's the game to test your skills. I think it's always nice to show, I built a company that worth $1 billion. I think it's cooler to have bragging rights that you were able to do it in a game form with a lot of with hundreds of people next to you. That's the simplest pitch I can give you, because I was founder myself for a really long time. This game is designed for people like me, and I know that the funny thing about crypto to me is like, everyone talks about startups all the time on Twitter. Even if they're not founders, they have opinions. So founder mode is the way to express your opinion. And if you're right, you're going to win a lot of money.
There we go. Go click some buttons. So 24 hours left to enter. Is that right?
I think a little bit more. I think maybe 29 or like 30 hours, something along the lines left to enter the week 1. But we're getting close, yes.
Awesome. Well, I'll be playing. Go raise some money from Seed Club. Would love to see a Seed Club funded project win the game. That'd be sick.
That would be awesome. Yes, you need to win the game. We have score for VC, if you had 10-10 for the Seed Club, basically you guys would have to at least hear out the pitch of those people for the
I didn't agree to that. I know I 100% will.
Yeah, we'll hear them out.
No problem. Maybe we'll bring them on.
Awesome.
All right, sick man. We'll get back to it. I'm sure you have lots to do ahead of the launch tomorrow. So sick to see the attention this has got. It's gonna be fun, I think.
Hopefully, so much work still have to do before tomorrow, but excited. Thank you for inviting me to talk about it. It's been hell of 2 months or 3 months of just building nonstop. I don't remember when I slept last time, honestly. But it's going to be exciting, and looking forward to see what people think about the game.
Nice, man. Well, good luck. Get some sleep. It's important.
I'll get some sleep in 2 weeks when the game is over.
There we go.
For now, cannot do that. Cannot afford it.
Founder mode. All right, dude. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks so much.
Peace.
Ciao.